Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. This video is going to be another Warcraft Rumble video, guys. And today I want to talk about the top 10 best PvP minis in Warcraft Rumble. First, I want to say a big thank you to Blizzard for sponsoring today's video. And if you guys want to try out Warcraft Rumble, you can click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment and come and join me in Warcraft Rumble. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive straight into today's main topic. There are tons of awesome minis in the game. I'm not going to rank them from 1 to 10 or anything like that. And we're not going to include leaders or spells, just regular minis that stay alive after usage. They deal damage, they move on the map. You guys know the drill. And as I mentioned, there are quite a few of them that are very, very solid. It's pretty hard to make a top 10, honestly, considering that the meta is constantly shifting, especially with all of the modifiers in PvP. But let me start with the goal. It's actually an amazing mini. Very, very cheap. 2 gold to deploy and is a tank. It's probably one of the cheapest tanks in the entire game. So basically, it will have a pretty decent amount of health, good damage, medium speed, very good to stay alive. But what I like about him is that he's basically going to cannibalize, eat the enemies that he defeats and regenerate health. So in terms of talents, you have a few different options. You have the Bone Shield, gain some armor. You have Ravenous or Taste for Blood. It really depends on how exactly you're planning to play the character. But I feel like going with Bloodlust can be nice, or getting the Bone Shield to get some armor, you know. Dealing 50% additional damage to enemies who are below 50 can be good too. But I find that very often the enemies are not under 50% HP, so it's pretty hard to make the most out of that blessing. I would rather use something else that would be a bit more beneficial. But the goal is an amazing undead mini, guys, that is gonna provide tons and tons of value to your deck. Moving over to the next one that I have on the list, guys. Some of them are actually in my deck already. Quillo. Now, the Quillo is my most favorite unit in the game. I'll be very honest with you guys. It's just such an amazing tank. Costs 2 gold to deploy as well. Very similar with the goal. It's just not as tanky. But what I do like about him is that he is an unbound unit. You can place him anywhere on the map, guys. It's absolutely massive. And as they show it to you right here in this little clip, that's exactly how you want to use it. You're basically going to send your troops, regardless if... I tend to use him a lot with the Harpies. Send in the Harpies. If it's a Dragon Tower, for example, I'm going to deploy the Quillo on the other side to distract the tower, and the Harpies are quickly taking down the tower or the enemy. So it's a very, very effective unit. Probably one of the most effective units in the entire game at the moment. You know, I have him with the Bramble Burst, so I inflict poison on the enemies when emerging. Is very, very helpful as well. If you want to deal damage on a lot of waves or something like that, it can be a pretty nice touch, you know. The other talents are decent, but I'm not such a big fan of the other two, to be honest. He does have a pretty decent health, decent damage, medium speed. It does take him a while to merge, okay? So once you place him, it takes him a couple of seconds to really wake up and actually get to work. But one target, he's only gonna do single target damage, and he is a cycle unit as well. So it's definitely a pretty solid mini. The next mini that I have in the top 10, guys, is going to be the Safe Pilot. Now, this is another unbound unit, costs 3 gold to deploy, and again, is a very, very solid unit, and probably one of the best in the entire game. So you're going to deal area damage when you deploy this unbound unit, and it's not going to be insane damage. It will be enough to kill a bunch of Harpies. It will be enough to kill a bunch of chickens or to kill a troll if it doesn't have a higher level than you. But it can be very, very effective with the AoE damage as well, you know. And it has decent health. The main con with this particular mini is that it takes a very long time to charge that freaking laser and make boom, you know. But other than that, it's a pretty solid one, dealing AoE damage, elemental damage, and it takes down a lot of enemies in a single hit, which is nice. Now, when we are talking about talents, guys, so I am using the Gnomish Cloaking Device, which will basically make this mini stealth. If you don't have this on, I feel like it will instantly get wiped, you know? I am using this mini in various different ways. I usually bait the enemies with the Quillo, for example, or the tower, then deploy the safe pilot on the other side, deal a bit of AoE damage, or even deploy it before because we do have stealth, right? Coming in hot, deploys twice as fast and burn nearby enemies, but deals 30% less crash damage. Decent, but I feel like it's kind of like killing your chance at one-shotting the enemies when you're using the AoE attack to deploy the character. Gnomish, Martionizer, polymorphs the first blaster target. Not a fan of it. So, my opinion, Gnomish cloaking device is definitely the best one for this particular mini. You know, look at that. Bang. Very, very solid one. Moving over to the next one, and I feel like we're going to have a bit of a debate in here, but I definitely think that Dark Spear Troll is a top 10 best mini, regardless if it's PvP or PvE. The ability of gaining that healing, the ability to take a single tower on its own down is massive, okay? If the enemy doesn't deploy troops, he's going to kill whatever tower comes at him alone. The ones that are challenging him a little bit are the rocket towers, because they deal a lot of damage, and sometimes he just doesn't get to heal back enough, but he just deals AoE damage. Single target damage is a good amount of damage too, because he has pretty good multipliers. 1280, at least at level 21. He doesn't have the best health. A safe pilot can take him down. A hit from a solid damage dealer can take him down. So of course, all minis have pros and cons, but I'm a massive, massive fan of the troll with this big bad voodoo talent, guys. 20% health every second. Now, headhunting can be nice. Serpent Sting can be nice, but they don't compare with big bad voodoo. So that should be your main talent that you pick for this mini. Moving over to the next one that we have on the list is going to be the Huntress. Such an effective character, guys. Very fast on the map, very good damage. It can deal a lot of AoE damage with her boomerang, or however we're calling her weapon, you know. In terms of talents, I have the Shadow Melt, gain stealth and ambush. So that's a pretty nice touch on her to avoid being detected by flying enemies or anything like that you don't want to detect her straight away. Then you have a couple of different options that are not too bad, actually. So having the Darnassian Steel, glaive bounces an additional 3 times. So that's the weapon, glaive, not a boomerang. But basically, 3 times additionally is not going to be bad. That's very good versus waves, you know. Or deals 50% additional damage to the initial target. It can be nice versus very tanky enemies, but I feel like Shadow Meld is definitely the way to go. Very fast, a little. Look at that. Bang, bang, bang. Pretty good damage. So it's not a full AoE damage. It's just basically the weapon bouncing from enemy to enemy, which makes it very, very effective, you know. AoE damage, stealth, fast, ranged. You're getting tons and tons of value out of this character. It's not the tankiest character, but it does deal a pretty good amount of damage, decent range as well. And yeah, I'm a massive, massive fan of the Huntress, guys. Moving over to the next one, we do have quite a few different ones in here. I do like a lot the Murloc Tidehunters, but they die so quick, and I definitely don't think they will make my top 10. But we have the Prowler, which a beast in PvP and in PvE. Very, very good unit, actually. So you do have quite a few amazing talents on this one too. And if you are paying attention, most of these minis, guys, they have a very low cost, okay? This is a 3 gold cost. The Huntress is probably the most expensive mini that we have in the top 10. The Prowler, on the other hand, gains stealth and stun the target when attacking from stealth. So this is massive. It can actually even stun bosses in PvE, which is pretty crazy. And it has a very good survivability. Not the craziest damage, but it's nice. It's fast. Not many tanks are actually fast, you know. So he's definitely going to be very, very effective. The talents on the Prowl gain stealth and stun. That's what I'm using right now. We have Pack Leader, grants nearby beast allies 30% additional damage. It can be nice too. Or you have Predatory Instincts, deals double damage to enemies who are more than 75% health. So basically the initial hit, the second hit maybe if you're not instantly dropping that target. It can be good if you're trying to take down a troll, for example, you know, because you're gonna one-shot it instantly. So he's a solid tank. Moving over to the next one, guys. This will be a bit different. We are talking about the Welps. You guys know them. They're very, very effective to either control enemies, to take down ground targets like tanks and stuff that don't deal damage to flying units. And they do have some very nice talents. They're not extremely tanky. They don't deal disgusting damage or anything like that. I do find the Harpies more effective in a way, to be honest. But you don't have that control of having unbound units, guys. And that is what makes them so amazing. So, talking about the talents. Right here you have Rookery. When one egg hatches, the other hatch immediately. It can be nice too. Flame Burst, damage nearby enemies when hatching. It can be nice, but it only works versus the enemies that will basically be on the ground, right? Ground units. Flame Burst damages nearby enemies when hatching. Is a decent one, but it only deals damage to ground units. Chromatic Plating, eggs gain taunt. Now that's what I like, because even when you are deploying them, let's just say you have an enemy attacking your troops, they're about to die, but you're quickly going to deploy the Welps, they will taunt the enemy. The enemy will break the eggs, they will deal damage, and you might actually save your other troop too. So I do think that this is the best talent for this particular mini. As you may notice right there, bang, very effective versus tanks. Moving over to the next one, another unbound unit, guys. Yes, probably you're wondering, Skratch, why are you only talking about unbound units? Because they're freaking amazing. Dark Iron Miner, guys. Not only that he can take in a few hits, he can deal a bit of damage, but you are gaining control over the gold, guys. That's what matters the most. Getting control over the gold in PvP is one of the main things that will decide if you win the fight or you lose the fight. So he is an unbound unit, which will basically give you control over the gold. Very, very solid, decent health, decent damage. He can distract some enemies if you need him to do it. Medium speed. It does take a little bit for him to basically start doing in some work. In terms of talents, you have a few different options. I do like having the gold mine. So, the Dark Iron Armaments, after mining, gains armor. Gold Mine, after mining, drops a proximity mine, damaging nearby enemies when touched. So, when the enemy is deploying his own miner, he's gonna get damage from the Gold Mine. Then we have the Dwarfen Ambition, which will gain Fury. Decent, not a bad one. I prefer the mine just to basically really take control over those gold mines, you know? 2 gold costs, I feel like is definitely a decent cost. Much better than using your regular miner, you know. Then we do have a couple of more solid units in here, and I feel like a lot of people might disagree with this one too. I don't know why, but most of the tier lists really have this mini placed pretty average. Frostwolf Shaman, absolutely insane, guys. Okay, if you're using the right talent, you can even heal your base. Costs you 4 gold. It will help you to basically heal some of your troops as well, deal some damage in the process. So basically, you can do a couple of different things at the same time with this character. You can constantly basically support your tanks, the units that are in front of you. So it's a pretty decent one. It's not the tankiest unit or anything like that. It doesn't deal the craziest damage. But hey, getting a decent amount of healing, 8 range, medium speed, and the main thing are the talents. So I do like Earthwall Totem. Once per deploy, places a totem that partially heals a nearby tower or base. In PvP, you're gonna love this because there is no way to heal your actual tower, right? And the best thing is to have this on. You're deploying it, you're getting some healing on your tower. I mean, they will periodically heal over time, right? But that takes a lot of time, and I'm pretty convinced that in PvP they don't heal at all, right? So in PvE, I know that your towers, some of them, they slowly heal a little bit. They regenerate. But in PvP, this will be the creme de la creme. You do have the Lightning Mastery with range attack chains to 3 nearby targets, or you have the Arch Shield grants armor to nearby ally. And yeah, I definitely feel like the Earth Wall Totem is the right thing to get on this mini, and it's a very effective one. Very good support. You don't really have a lot of support minis in the game. You have a leader that heals you, and I don't think I'm missing anyone that's really impactful, except the Witch Doctor, which is the last mini that will make our top 10, guys. So the Witch Doctor can be very, very annoying. A cycle support caster channels explosive curse on the enemy, helping allies take out multiple foes. So right here, ranged, AoE, cycle, medium speed, decent health. The damage is not the craziest one, but it can put in some work. You have 8 range on it. The main thing that makes this character so good is the cost of 2 gold, guys. And yeah, you will be gaining tons and tons of value. I'm still in the process of leveling mine up, and I'm trying to basically get 7 more stars. Alchemist periodically drops a potion granting bloodlust to the first ally who touches it. That's a very nice talent. Amplify curse. Enemies killed by the curse explosion also explode, dealing more damage to other nearby enemies. And you have Spirit Ward. On kill, grant a shield to nearby allies, absorbing the next hit against them. Can be very nice if you're grouping your minis in a good way, where your tank is next to him, you have some minis there, and you're basically gonna give them a shield to soak in some additional damage. But guys, that will do for our top 10 best PvP minis in Warcraft Rumble. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one is your most favorite mini? Thanks again to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring today's video. And as usual, guys, much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.